JBN, we keep you informed. Augustown teen dies after being shot 9 times. Police investigators are now on the scene of a murder of a teen boy in the Hermitage community of Augustown, St. Andrew. Laverne Edwards, 18, was reportedly shot 9 times around 10 o'clock this morning. He died on the spot. It is the latest in a series of violent attacks in the St. Andrew Eastern constituency. On Sunday, another resident was shot and injured. 2 days earlier, another person was also shot. Fear grips staff at St. James Parish Library. Students threaten manager. Staff members at the St. James Parish Library in Montego Bay are in fear for their lives after students allegedly threatened a manager at the library and vandalized its property. The students also allegedly slashed the tire on the manager's vehicle after measures were taken to remove them from the property several times. An employee of the library is alleging that the students attend high schools in Western Jamaica and are having sexual intercourse, drinking alcohol, and smoking on the library's compound. The employee, who wants to remain anonymous, says the library is now closed due to a fire allegedly caused by some of the students. She says staff are considering their options following several developments involving some high school students in the Western city. The woman says unlike other users of the library utilizing their services productively, these students are engaging in sexual activities. She says this has become a daily practice for many of them in view of staff, motorists, and passers-by. Not only that, the woman says the students engage in smoking and drinking on the compound even after the library closes. One source says recently, students attacked and assaulted a man who they claimed was recording them having sexual intercourse while passing the library. She says the police had to be called in before the students' makeshift weapons were drawn. On Friday, the library had no electricity but was open for business. The library didn't remain open for business today, however. It is unclear what role the library security guard played in the incidents. Meanwhile, Director General of the Jamaica Library Service, JLS, Maureen Thompson, says that there will be meetings today with a view of addressing the incidents at the St. James Parish Library. She says that there were also meetings at the regional level to address what she's describing as a siege of loitering, which she notes reached a crescendo between Friday and Monday. Thompson says several stakeholders, including the library security firm, the police, and the regional manager, will be attending the meeting. The Director General admits some of the students have posed a challenge in recent times by being boisterous and even confrontational. But she says she's unable to say much more until she receives a full report from the regional manager today. Former envoy says Holness in danger of being U.S. pawn in CARICOM coup. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness has been warned against becoming a pawn in Washington's bid to solicit votes in his diplomatic war with the Maduro regime in Venezuela. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's highly anticipated visit to Jamaica has been marked by intrigue and outrage in the lead-up to talks with Holness and a select group of Caribbean leaders that have been viewed by CARICOM Chairman Mia Mottley as a coup of sorts. Pompeo will arrive in the island this evening for a 2-day working visit, where he is expected to meet with the leaders of the Bahamas, Belize, St. Kitts, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, St. Lucia, and St. Martin. Of the 8 nations to be represented, 5, Jamaica, Haiti, the Bahamas, St. Lucia, and Dominican Republic, were involved in a deeply polarizing meeting with President Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida in March last year. It is felt that Pompeo's meetings here are a follow-up to that parley, and Curtis Ward, a former deputy representative of Jamaica to the United Nations, believes that the island has found itself between a rock and a hard place. Pompeo spoke in the OAS at a special session he requested last Friday, and he signaled out Jamaica and refers to the country as a good friend of the United States. In my opinion, he is pushing Mr. Holness as a de facto leader of CARICOM, which he is not. Sadly, at the moment, it seems CARICOM is void of a strong leader. Jamaica used to be the leader on foreign policy, but not anymore, Ward said. Nobody in CARICOM pays in respect to what Jamaica does anymore, so Jamaica has to be extremely careful of how it deals with the Trump administration, he added. Ward also revealed that certain members of the U.S. Congressional Black Caucus admitted to being disappointed with Holness' stance and his strategy of cozying up to Trump. Further, the former ambassador said that careful analysis indicated that Pompeo could use talks with the Caribbean leaders to affirm their support for the U.S. position on Venezuela in the upcoming vote in the OAS, where the current Secretary General, Luis Almagro, is seeking re-election. Pompeo reasserted America's intention to push opposition Congressman Juan Guaido as Washington's replacement for embattled President Nicolas Maduro. Before arriving in Jamaica, Pompeo met with the President and the Foreign Minister of Colombia, the Foreign Minister of Brazil, and the Foreign Minister of Bolivia. These are three countries that are adamantly opposed to Nicolas Maduro and who want to see him go, and a unified CARICOM would have 14 votes in the OAS. Almagro would need only 18 total votes to be re-elected, said Ward. Ward indicated that it could be a difficult sell as a number of CARICOM countries are totally opposed to the re-election of Almagro, who has been criticized for hewing to Washington's policies and for being hawkish on Venezuela. Some have actually come out in support of the Ecuadorian candidate, the ambassador added. Trinidad and Tobago yesterday joined Barbados in opting not to send a representative to meet with Pompeo in Kingston. Mottley, who is also Barbados Prime Minister, described Pompeo's meeting with select Caribbean leaders as an attempt to divide the regional bloc. St. Kitts and Nevis Foreign Affairs Minister Mark Brantley said yesterday that his country did not regard the move by some regional countries to meet with Pompeo as off-limits, noting that the talks were an opportunity to pursue outstanding bilateral issues. 25 died in road crashes since the start of the year. Director of the Road Safety Unit, RSU, in the Ministry of Transport and Mining, Kenneth Hare, is lamenting that since the start of the year, 25 people have lost their lives on the nation's roads up to yesterday. We don't go on 25 days in the year yet, and 25 people dead already. The writing is on the wall. Just as it is in the days of Nebuchadnezzar, the writing is on the wall. We need to shape up, Hare declared. He expressed fear that if motorists don't take heed, the number of road fatalities this year will surpass last year's. 437 people died on the roads last year. It can be worse this year if we don't take heed, the RSU director cautioned. 4 men from Portland, including 2 brothers, died from multiple injuries they received when the car in which they were traveling slammed into the side of a bus on the North Coast Highway on Sunday. A woman was reportedly being transported to the Sangster International Airport to board a return flight to Canada, received serious injuries, and has been transferred to the Conroy Regional Hospital in Montego Bay from the Falmouth Public General Hospital, where she was initially admitted following the mid-morning crash. The deceased, all from Port Antonio, have been identified as brothers Omroy and Omar Russell, Dayton McClarty 24 and Everton James 22. Hare expressed that the crash resulted from carelessness. What took place out at the main road in Trelawney on Sunday highlights how indisciplined motorists are. That crash was rooted and consecrated in wanton, deliberate, calculated indiscipline. The road is wet, yet people decide that they're going to speed, they're going to overtake, they lose control, crash into a bus, that even the bus driver was trying to take the south shoulder and the car come over there and clap the bus, Hare said. He pondered why the occupants of the Nissan March motor car did not signal to the driver to slow down. There were 5 people in that car. I want to know if nobody in the vehicle couldn't say cool it. So everybody into the slackness. All 5 people aboard the car into the slackness, and that crash is a needless crash. Everybody in that car dead before their time. Psalms chapter 90 says 70, and you can't get extra, he argued. The RSU director advised that individuals should avoid speeding to get to their destination. Rain is falling, and you want to go to the airport. Give yourself adequate time to go to your destination. The airport say you must reach here 3 hours before departure. Give yourself adequate time, he stressed. CMU Chairman Hyacinth Bennett resigns. Chairman of the Council of the Scandal-hit Caribbean Maritime University, CMU, Hyacinth Bennett, has resigned. The resignation has been confirmed by Carl Smuda, the Minister with oversight responsibility for education, youth, and information. Bennett, who is founder of the Heidel Group of Schools, has stepped aside following the damning findings of the Auditor General's Department report into the operations of the East Kingston-based CMU. While the report is yet to be tabled in Parliament, after it was withheld last Tuesday by House Speaker Pernell Charles, its findings, some of which have been reported in sections of the media, paint a picture of gross mismanagement and a lack of oversight at the university. The Council presides over the operations of the CMU, but the AG's report found that the Council and management of the institution did not provide adequate oversight. Specifically, the AG found, among other things, that the president of the university, Professor Fritz Pinnock, who is now facing corruption charges, made decisions that undermined his fiduciary responsibility, that oversight by successive government ministries was inadequate, and that there was improper use of bank accounts at the university. The CMU has found itself at the center of the scandal that brought down former Minister of Education Will Reid. Both Reid and Pinnock have been slapped with corruption and fraud-related charges for allegedly being part of the scheme, which investigators said involved some $56 million. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.